right. Okay, I will let everyone in. So now I have to allow something. I hope it works. I don't know, man. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the party. Feel free to stay video on if you like. Love to see your faces as we go here. It's going to be a really good session today. I have a ton of content that we're going to do our best to walk through quickly in the next 29 minutes. I'm not going to wait too long here to get started. I don't want to.
Why don't you tell Cassandra? Oh, wait, they might have already gone down.
I saw that in 2 seconds.
Just a heads up, if you want to mute your microphone, just double check so we don't interrupt your conversations. All right, cool. I'm going to get started, guys. Little intro here. I'm Katie Castillo. I'm the Global Campaign Strategist here at Postal, former SDR manager here, and started as our campaign strategist back in February because identified an opportunity to better serve our customers to drive ROI in the offline channel. So from brainstorming initial concepts for a campaign to crafting content for those campaigns to talking through best practices for enabling your marketing and your sales teams to execute those offline campaigns, my time is included as a resource as part of your postal partnership. So feel free to reach out anytime. We're going to play a fun game as part of the session today. I have a series of gifts from movies, and Nicole, who's on our events and paper plane team, is here. Whoever guesses the movie that these gifts are from in the chat first will get a postal prize. So you will be DM'd by Nicole the postal prize. Sound good? So this is up for grabs right now. Whoever can let me know who the Ethan, amazing. All right. Gift incoming. Okay, drop in the chat where you're coming from. I'm joining you from the beautiful Duluth, Minnesota. So a Midwesterner here. We've got Chicago, LA, San Diego. Awesome. Love to see it. I would love to know where you wish you were right now. Feel free to drop where you wish you were coming from. This is where I wish I was. I mean, there's nowhere I'd rather be than right here with all of you. But if I did want to be somewhere else, it would be the Boundary Waters, which is even further northern Minnesota. I'm actually going to be here on Saturday canoeing in the wilderness with these two cuties, my son Louie and my daughter Sparling. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about start off by talking about why we're going to talk about SDR best practices. These are some of the messages that I get internally. So the SDR team was trained, but poor adoption. We're feeling like we're not getting enough value. We want to see some firsthand experience on how SDRs are using Postal to increase adoption. Most people really like the meeting booking feature that's part of Postal, but from what I've seen, SDRs aren't always reliable to set it up, don't follow through, even if the admin team pushes to implement that meeting booking functionality. The ones that do set it up tend to use it in most sends. When I see this kind of feedback as a person who's responsible for helping you all find success in the platform, I know that we need to speak to some specific plays, some specific use cases that are specific to SDRs. And in preparation for this workshop, I looked a little bit into our customer data. Typically, SDR teams give their SDRs a monthly budget or a quarterly budget. Usually somewhere between $200 and $400 a month is what I see. And it's almost at the end of the month here. And I looked at some data, just pulled this from yesterday, and this is not uncommon for us to see, where budget remaining with active users is actually almost all of it. Here's another one. There's a couple people who are, have found some success here. And in my mind, it's either because your sales team, your SDR team maybe isn't logging into Postal to send gifts, or maybe they're not, they haven't found the right messaging, the right strategies to use Postal to drive more meetings or conversions. So my job is to make sure you guys are all finding success and a stronger ROI in the tool. And that's why we're talking about this today. When I think about, why some SDRs, maybe you're an SDR here, maybe you're leading SDRs, what's keeping you from using Postal to drive engagement with prospects? These are some of the things that I've heard. Don't feel comfortable in the platform yet, don't know how to navigate it. Maybe you're new, maybe you've had access for a long time, but you're still not super comfortable in it. Using gifts in prospecting feels bribey. I've tried using gifts in the past and it hasn't worked. I don't have many choices in my Postal marketplace to send, and I don't want to leave my calling block to send a gift. Maybe it's I only have $100 a month to spend, so I just hang on to it in case I need it later, but then I forget to use it. Cycle repeats. I don't even know how to log into Postal anymore. So these are some of the things that I hear and kind of what's driving the conversation today. So agenda today, we're going to talk about some cold outreach gifting stats specific to SDRs, BDRs who are using Postal today. So customer data. We're going to be talking about the basics, setting your Postal account up for success. And then we're going to dive into some plays, some strategies specific to SDR outreach. So using LinkedIn for creative, personalized gifting. How do we use gifts in social selling to build relationships with folks? Building a gifting strategy into your cold call strategy. And then how can we scale SDR gifting strategies? So more one-to-many plays where we're making a bigger impact based on plays that we're seeing that work. So last 90 days, some gifting stats here across all Postal customers, specifically for SDRs, BDRs, 23% of gift emails from SDRs were accepted, and 74% accepted the gift when they click the link in the email. So what that tells me is somewhere between 1 in 4, 1 in 5 personalized gift emails that are sent from an SDR's email are accepted. And when we can get people to click the link, accept this gift in the email, we have a very high likelihood of that converting to an accepted gift. Similar stat with magic links. 29% of gift recipients who viewed a Postal magic link accepted the gift. So, on average across SDRs, BDRs, maybe 3 out of 10 of the magic links that you send out are redeemed. And there are tactics that you can be using to improve your chances of getting someone to accept your gift. And that's where we're getting to today. Here are a couple stats around the top accepted items. I hear this all the time, like what are the best gifts to send out? For cold outreach, consistently, we see gift cards as being, one of the top accepted items, but also collections are very strong. So a collection is, you put together, could be up to 100 items in a collection. I typically see 25 gifts or under. Even more common is like 10 gifts and under. You're still giving people that choice. Custom swag, so working with your own vendor or with our paper plane agency to create something custom. Maybe it's a kit, like a prospecting kit, or maybe it's, just bulk swag that you're sending out as part of the meeting making process. And then drinks and food are always great door openers. Who doesn't love drinks and food? Big takeaway here, sending a couple gifts every week isn't just going to magically get you more meetings. We want to pair high quality outreach using gifts with a higher quantity of gifts to see the impact that you're looking for. As a good like starting metric, what I try to get SDRs to, just to get them used to sending out gifts as part of their process, is try to send 15, 20 a week. Block the time to send those gifts to your highest value prospects. The more you send, the more you're going to see the impact of sending. You have this built into your budget for a reason. What's keeping you from using that budget? Okay, we're going to start at the very beginning here of setting up your postal account for success. These steps really take about 5 minutes. So if you haven't done them, if your team hasn't done them, highly recommend just hopping on, as part of a team call, right? Walking through these steps. Whoever can name this movie first, go. But here are the couple of steps: signing into Postal, integrating your email, enable calendar booking, enabling email notifications, and downloading the Postal Everywhere Chrome extension. Go, Regina. Step 1, logging in. We highly recommend SSO. Makes it really easy for SDRs, BDRs to log into Postal. They don't have to remember a password or anything. Super basic. Connecting the email. You go to your top right-hand corner in your Postal instance and click on your name. And then it's as simple as clicking the correct email integration that you have, whether that's Google or Microsoft, and then you're just going to click accept to permissions requested. Basically, what this enables you to do is send these emails, gift emails, from your email. So it's not going to land in someone's spam. Meeting settings. So same kind of flow. You're going to click kind of your name, your person icon here. And then you're going to find meeting settings. So connecting your calendar provider, very similar process where you're just going to click wherever your calendar is integrated there. And then you're going to set up a meeting link here. If you have Zoom, it's pretty easy to have like a personal video meeting link. If you have different providers, feel free to reach out to me, because there's a couple more steps if you're using like Microsoft Teams or something like that. And then you'll just pop in, days you're available, times you're available. You can be pretty specific with time blocks. The other thing as part of meeting settings is you can set a default for gift acceptances. If you want the default to be before item acceptance, that means that the contacts must schedule a meeting before they accept an item. If it's after item acceptance, contacts are they're first given like the opportunity to accept the gift and then book a meeting after that. They're brought to that landing page. Usually I keep this off, honestly, but if you have a preference or your team has a preference. And then enabling email notifications. This is really important. So your SDRs are aware when a gift is accepted or a magic link is accepted or the order is delivered. Those are all opportunities for them to act, right? To engage, pick up the phone, or follow up with another email to schedule time. And then lastly is just the Postal Everywhere extension. You can, let me just drop this, check this out. It's a great way to use Postal wherever you're working. So if you're in LinkedIn, Salesforce, Outreach, etc., it allows you to send gifts to those individuals right from that screen. Okay, diving into the strategy here, what you guys are really here for. Using LinkedIn for creative, personalized gifting. Way to go, Alexa. Love it. So we're going to kind of map out LinkedIn profiles for a few minutes here. Where can we look to find opportunities to personalize a gift and personalize a message around that gift? The first place is super easy. It's the largest thing you're looking at, really. You see someone's name, and then right under that, you'll see a headline. People personalize this, right? This person says that they're a dog lover. Within the postal marketplace, there's a million things that we can personalize. There's a fair number of items around dogs. My favorite is the puppyata, the piñata for dogs. There's a difference in just sending a gift, right? To send a gift. If we just, maybe her name is Nicole. Like, hey, Nicole, saw you love love dogs, wanted to send this over for your dog, made me smile, hope it makes you smile. She might accept. Nicole might say, oh, that's a great gift. Love it. Thanks. You're not really moving that relationship forward, but you are creating a nice connection where we can really drive the engagement and movement forward with accounts or prospects that we're going after is really tying this thing that we learn about them, the gift that we choose for them, to a challenge that they're having or to a problem that you're solving, value proposition that you're offering through your company. So we'll walk through an example here. Dog days of prospecting, we're calling it out right away. Here is the personalization, right? Based on what I've researched about this prospect. It's a one-to-one subject line. It's going to stand out in someone's inbox. Hi, Megan. Sales teams are feeling pretty doggone beat down with outbound prospecting. Nearly sent over a coffee fix as a dog lover. Dog pinata seemed like the right move. Call out your personalization. Call out the research that you've done. Call out the gift that you are sending over. That's going to really stand out. You can tie the gift to a problem statement. So we did kind of tie it in both the subject line, dog days of prospecting, doggone beat down with outbound prospecting. Here's another example. Before Crunchbase, Dialpad reps were chasing their tails. So we're calling attention to a customer and the problem statement to the personalization. They were losing time trying to find best fit accounts to prospect into. We helped cut down their prospecting time by 30%, surfacing recently funded companies that are ready to buy. So we're concisely sharing, how you might help. This is probably already built in to, the sequences or the email templates that your reps are using, the short statement of how we're helping. But this is another opportunity where you can tie in the gift to the value proposition. And then lastly, low pressure, low key CTA. Is this worth exploring? Either way, hope if you know the dog name enjoys their pinata. Another place we can look on LinkedIn is the About section. Here's another example. People usually put this at the very last, like if they have a couple paragraphs, any personalization is usually like things about them is usually on that last page, or the last section. Movie nerd, love stand-up comedy, kayaking, true crime, find me at a tattoo shop, adventuring with my partner and our dog. There's so much that we could personalize here. I leaned into, she's an adventurer. We have some adventurous eater cookie collections, right? So it looks like you're hiring. The messaging here that I leaned in on was kayaking in circles. Are you kayaking in circles, juggling so many moving parts from onboarding different roles? This was for a customer of ours that's they have an LMS. We're helping HR teams automate onboarding to-dos to make employees feel at home, worth the chat. You'll notice that I didn't really talk about the gift yet. If you've identified something that you can personalize a gift around, you're having a hard time connecting that gift to a value proposition or a challenge, you can use CX to explain the gift choice. Noticed on LinkedIn, you're always looking for a new adventure. Thought you might enjoy one in cookie form, maybe a treat for your next kayak trip. So I'm still tying in, the problem of like kayaking, and the gift is like an adventure gift, but it's not super connected. That's something that you could do. Interests. So here we see, a lot of people are following authors, and that's something we have a lot of books in the Postal platform. So if we, we notice Simon Sinek, and here's a book that we have, Start With Why. A gift doesn't always have to be as black and white as sending the prospect a gift. Could be, this is a gift. We're going to send a magic link that has 5 redemptions to a leader or a manager and allow them to pay that gift forward to someone on their team. This is more of like a value adding gifting play or relationship building play than just let's book a meeting. Lastly, this is like the gold mine, right? Comments or posts that people are sharing. It's timely, and it's relevant to kind of why we're reaching out. Here's an example. LinkedIn user posed the question, what's better than a cold call turn meeting? Carl says cookies, specifically oatmeal raisin cookies. So an SDR pops in and says, here's some cookies, basically. And he was very pleased with it. He gave her a shout out, made a silly comment about oatmeal raisin cookies. 4 minutes later, Stephanie dropped into my DMs with oatmeal raisin cookies. It was a nice personalized note. She wasn't asking for a meeting. It was just sharing a little bit of a value about what Postal can do for him. No expectation of anything in return. But the idea is, you're playing the long game. And I think with social selling, that is the case in a lot of conversations and relationships that we're building on LinkedIn. Is it might not turn into a meeting right then, but it might result in one a month or 2 months from then, or when the gift arrives. That's another great opportunity just to re-engage that prospect. I'm going to see if the volume goes through with this. If it doesn't, you guys can watch this when I send out the deck. But wanted to share an example from one of our flyers, Nate.
The like using it as one-offs piece. Like I have
Can you hear that, you guys? Yeah.
this guy at Nike. I'm hopefully gonna, or I guess he's not at Nike anymore, but he was like someone that was high up within their organization, and he just got laid off, but he also got in like a really bad car accident with his husband. So I sent him like a $50 thing to DoorDash, and was just like, hey, like, and candidly, I didn't know he got laid off. So I was like, hey, I hope you feel better, like order some food. And then I learned he got laid off, but he's like, at the time I didn't want to push it too much, but now he's like trying to meet with me, or I'm trying to meet with him, but he's open to meeting with me just to like talk about talent acquisition. So I'm like getting someone that like might give me a little insight into Nike just to help build my case, because they're just like so big. Like I feel like it just gives you a chance to get into like certain doors that you're not able to make people feel good.
All right. So in this case, right, Nate sent a gift. This guy was having a hard day. It was very timely, relevant one-on-one outreach. Turned out that this guy was also laid off, but that didn't mean it wasn't a good opportunity to learn about the company. Nike's obviously a huge company. He can use what this guy shares to build his case for Nike. And that was kind of his play here.
Good.
Here's the framework. We'll send this out just as part of the follow-up here, but basic takeaway here is make the gift connection wherever you can. It could be with a problem. It could be with how you're solving that problem. And then if you can't do anything, it's either in the PS or maybe in the subject line. Couple best practices for gifting. We will probably go like 5 minutes over. If you have to drop, totally fine. But just a quick heads up. Here's a couple best practices for one-to-one gifting. It can take a little bit of time, right, to search for a relevant gift to send someone. I recommend that SDRs block the time. Don't just stop your call block when you notice something on someone's LinkedIn that you want to personalize a gift around. Create a task or write their name down. Go back to that person, send them a gift when you have half hour or an hour of your time blocked off to send gifts. Hot tip, like using engagement stats from Outreach or SalesLoft to prioritize who you're sending gift sends to. So if people are engaging with you and you're seeing they're engaging with those emails, maybe send a follow-up that's a gift. That might just be, what it takes to get those people over the edge. I have a 1-minute research rule for personalization. If I can't find something to personalize a gift around in 1 minute, I'm not going to spend too much time around it, because the bulk of your time would probably be crafting that message of like, how can I connect this gift to a problem that I'm solving or a solution that I'm offering? So if I can't find something to personalize it around, I'm not necessarily going to spend the time there. But if you can't find anything to personalize and you still want to send a gift, seasonal gifts work really well, especially if you can make some kind of educated guessed around their interests. So something like noticed you're near the shore in New Jersey, figured you could use a new cooler for trips to the beach this summer. That's one example there. Connect the dots, we've talked about this, but don't just send a prospect a random gift with no context. Tie the gift in some way to the why behind why you're reaching out. Here's some examples: the value prop, the challenge, a comment or post that they shared. Maybe it's a blog post on the company. Maybe you noticed they were engaging, wanted to sweeten the deal to move that conversation forward. Maximizing where your prospects are engaged. Don't just always send them a gift via email if they aren't even looking at your emails. Maybe they're commenting and liking things on LinkedIn, they're active, send the gifts there. If they've clicked on your last email 2 to 3 times, send the gift via their email. And then lastly, double tap. Sending a gift isn't a magic bullet, I would say. Don't be afraid to put that gift in front of them in multiple places, multiple channels. So double tapping or triple tapping after you send that gift. So if you send a gift via email, follow it up with a LinkedIn message or LinkedIn Connect. Hey, putting a face to my name, just sent you over a little surprise in your email, or if you're cold calling them. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about right now. I'm going to fast forward past this one just for time's sake. Cold calling. So using what we learn on cold calls to personalize a gift to follow up and build rapport. The dispositions to use gifts to humanize your outreach. Here's some examples where, depending on the call connect disposition, we can actually build templates or snippets with gift offers for easy scaling of this play. So maybe for referrals, or you catch someone at a bad time. Maybe it's a high value prospect and you want to leave a voicemail where you're directing them to a gift. Maybe they're out of office because they're sick or they're on vacation. Sample talk track for a referral here. Hey, thanks so much for sharing the right person to reach out to. I'd love to send over a quick thank you. Are you more of a coffee or a chocolate person? So what this would require ahead of time, right, to roll out this play is you have 2 collections at the price point that makes sense for your team. But coffee collection with a couple items and chocolate collection, creating a snippet for your SDRs. That's just like, thanks so much for sharing your insights. Wanted to send over a little thank you. Insert personal magic link here. Bad timing is another quick disposition that we can look at. So, hey, totally get that it's not a great time. Appreciate you even picking up. I'll shoot you over a note and a little something that I hope will brighten your day. One SDR that I spoke with as I was preparing for this workshop shared that he does a play that's called Kindness Coffee. So anyone he connects with on a cold call, especially if they're sounding like they're having a stressful day or if they have a stressful job, he'll send them over some kindness coffee after a cold call connect. And then lastly, a sick disposition. Oh man, cold call when you're sick. It's the worst kind of cold call. So sorry to interrupt your rest. I'll let you go. Send over a little surprise that I hope will make your life easier as you guys recover. And sending over, I mean, even if it's a $25 DoorDash gift card, it's really all about how can we create a connection that will make us memorable, that will break through the noise with the prospects or the accounts that we're trying to engage with. Here's an example, Postal in the wild. This director of sales yelled at me when she got my cold call on a sick day. So I followed up with this gift. Great turnaround here. We're all set for that time. Thank you for such a thoughtful gift box. Sorry for being short. I was in the thick of COVID, not feeling well. Looking forward to speaking soon. So these are the kinds of responses, right, that we want to see. And this is what happens when we personalize those opportunities to engage with prospects and really humanize the experience. All right. Takeaway for this, set yourself up for success by creating templates for common dispositions on your cold calls. Gifting or direct mail is a channel on its own, but it's something you should be incorporating into your SDRs everyday workflow. So pairing it with other channels. We already talked a little bit about social selling, also cold calling. Way to go, Laura. Home alone. Last one, we're going to talk about scaling SDR gifting strategies, one-to-many here. In many ways, I think about the SDR role as where marketing and sales teams collide, or those roles collide. SDRs have the ability and usually the budget, whether it's like a monthly or quarterly budget, to test out mini gifting or mini direct mail campaigns with a list of target prospects, depending on either a trigger to personalize a gift, or maybe it's a stage that they're in where they're engaged, they haven't set a meeting, or they've set a meeting and now they're ghosting you, or they're qualified and you really want to expedite the next steps with an account executive. So here's some examples to personalize at scale. We'll go a little more in depth just in a moment here. With prospect centered, either triggered by like a hard day, a new role, or other milestone, or stage-based templates like a referral, or we want to prevent no-shows. We've set a meeting with someone, we want to make sure they show up. Maybe it's you're on a call with like a discovery call with a high value prospect. We want to make sure we schedule next steps with the account executive. So while you're on the call, you say, hey, like, would love to schedule some next steps. I just dropped you some swag just to, so you get a feel for what we're all about. You can actually accept that gift and then schedule time with me, and I'll bring the account executive on our next call together. The trigger templates, right, are more relational. They're more human to human connection. I would say almost like slow burn gifting, right? If we're sending someone something on a hard day, or if, they're just starting a new role, that it's going to take them a little time to sink their teeth into it. They're drinking from a fire hose right now, send them over a plant, follow up in 3-4 weeks. Or milestones, right? If we notice someone, it's their birthday or they just had a baby. Those are all ways that we can kind of start to build rapport, start to build a relationship. They wouldn't necessarily result in a meeting right away, but sometimes they do. And then the stage-based templates are more focused on moving those conversations forward with your target accounts. This is just another shout out to Nate. He had addresses for some of his prospects, and we have spam in the marketplace. So he decided to physically spam. I think it was like, 6 of his prospects. And when the gift arrives, when he's notified, he's on the phone, he's calling them, he's saying, hey, like, spammed you in your mailbox, wanted to follow up, just a silly thing to stand out here. I've been hoping to speak with you, and then moving the conversation forward there. This is a play that's active right now, so I'm excited to follow up with him as he goes. We're going to talk just briefly about 2 of these plays, kind of the hard days play, and then preventing no-shows with gift cards. So starting with preventing no-shows for a discovery or a demo call, I'm going to just break this down in steps for you. So creating a template or a saved message in Postal. You can copy paste this if you want. Looking forward to our conversation today, tomorrow, at whatever time. Does this time still work for you? Eager to learn how iCIMS might help X company find and keep the best candidates for your open roles. So just putting, what you're hoping to learn in that conversation. And then you're going to create your postal collection. For these kinds of plays where it's, the day before, I usually recommend a gift card play. So it's kind of an instant gratification for the folks who are receiving that gift. So here's just an example of a gift card collection. And then creating a magic link or sending a personalized email in Postal. If you've created that saved message in Postal, it's really easy. You would just, select saved messages if you're sending out the personalized email, and then SDR can select, talk soon, whatever the prospect's name is. This is what it looks like in their inbox. And then one-to-many gifting plays for prospects having a bad day. Here's an example of a template. Hey, contact name, saw you weren't having the best day. Thought a little treat might be a day brightener. Tomorrow's a new day. Hope it's a better one for you. Way to go, Ethan. Here's an example of a collection that you could use. Same flow, right? Popping this sample messaging as a saved message or a template in Outreach or SalesLoft, creating a collection for your SDRs to send out. And this is another amazing SDR flyer, Mia from Gladly.
I like how you have the collections of gifts. So our BDR manager, she made a collection for re-engagement gifts, and then she made a collection for having a bad day, because one of our competitors recently had outages in their system. So I sent a few prospects in my account like, oh, I heard about the outages. Here's a little something to brighten your day. You can share it with your team. And I did get 3 meetings from it. So I was like, oh, this is really nice. So it's nice when you can send more targeted, personalized gifts.
Yeah, so this is a great play, right? She had even more information about why these prospects might be having a bad day, right? These are prospects that she knew were using a competitor, and they got some intel that those prospects might be having a bad day because they were experiencing outages with their current provider. So she said she sent about 6 of these emails out, and 3 of them converted. So that's a 50% conversion rate for this one-to-many play that she ran. So she's killing it.
I like how you have the
takeaway here, would recommend building out a library of templates, collections, make it less work for the SDR to come up with their own messaging. One-to-many gifting plays is really how you can start to scale your outbound gifting strategy, drive more prospect engagement and meetings booked, but it still is feeling personalized based on X trigger that they see or Y stage of engagement. So I want to go back to, the challenges, right, that we see from driving engagement or adoption with SDRs specifically, and talk about how we can grow excitement around the impact Postal can have on pipeline, revenue goals for your team. People who say, I don't feel comfortable with the platform, don't know how to navigate it. One, Postal CSMs are here to support your SDR team, but also I would recommend being prescriptive about maybe the top 2 or 3 gifting plays that you want your SDRs to start with. So maybe it's, driving those, like making sure the show rates are happening, are high in the 80, 90, as close to 100% show rates as possible. Implementing, a $10 gift card could be a great place to start as part of your process. I've tried using gifts. It hasn't worked. One thing I'd recommend here is just highlighting an SDR win every week or bi-weekly to show how others are seeing success. Using gifts in prospecting feels bribey to me. When I hear that, I say, let's work a little bit more on how you're positioning those gifts. Show examples of what a non-bribey message might look like. We saw a lot of those today. I don't have many choices in my Postal Marketplace to send. To this, I'd say sync with your Postal admin who's on your team to figure out the best process internally to request additional items, if that's just going and shopping in Postal and requesting items, and those requests show up in their inbox, or maybe it's creating a Slack channel that's specifically for Postal items that SDRs want access to send. So in that case, it might be the Postal admin is checking that every day at noon, and they'll go through each of those items and approve them for the SDR. So whatever works for your team there. I don't want to leave my calling block. So don't leave your calling block. We talked about this a little bit, but block time specifically for gifts when you need a break from all the call blocks. If you see someone that you do want to send a gift to during your call block, recommend creating a task so you can go back to them. And then, I only have $100 to spend. I say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So bias towards just doing it when the thought is there, or making that task to do it when you have time later. The other thing I'll say, just as a, just as I don't actually have a gift for that one. I'm sorry, Jacob, but I'll give it to you. I'll send you something after this. One recommendation is, if your SDRs are having hesitation due to not having budget, change from a per user budget to a pooled budget. So maybe, you have 10 SDRs, they each have $200 to spend. Instead of it being $200 a month for each user, you can make it can I do math? I guess that would be $2,000 for all of your SDRs to spend in that pooled budget throughout the month. Then the people who are really using Postal and seeing success with it have access to that budget. You're setting aside that budget anyway. Maybe keeping it pooled will inspire more people to take advantage of those funds. Okay, we went over. I kind of knew we would. This is a lot to cover, but if you have any questions, or if you want to set up some time to talk specifically about SDR use cases at your company, feel free to grab some time here. I hope that this QR code is updated. If it's not, feel free to just shoot me a message. My name is Katie. I'm here for you, and I'll let you all go. Thanks for sticking with me, and we will see you on September 7th is the next workshop. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone. Jacob, I'll send you a little something. All right, take care.